Joining us on the line right now is Pawtucket City Council candidate Mr. Joe Flanagan. Joe, good evening, sir.
Hey, Scott, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure to have you on, man. I'm doing all right. I like to say I'm on the right side of the grass for now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know that feeling, especially in these days.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about why you're running for council.
Because I didn't win last time. We ran in 18. We ran in 18, and that was a training mission. We knew that we probably wouldn't win, and of course we were going up against John Barry, who was at that point a 30-year veteran. You go back to these things. Once you start on it, you want to keep at it at least a couple of times until you decide that you're not going to do it. This time, I think we are going to do it. I really do. And there's so much going on in this city, Scott. I mean, people don't realize it, but we have this multi-million-dollar development happening. We have train stations coming in. We have all these things happening, and people can complain about them, and they can, everybody's got an opinion. So that's fine, but it's still going to happen. These things are still going to roll along. This is Pawtucket. I've been here my whole life. It's not going to stay still. It's going to keep changing. And I really want to be part of that change.
Yeah, and I think, change is a good thing. Like you mentioned, a 30-year incumbent, being basically taken out of office, which is not a bad thing, because I feel like, you need to change up the voices every once in a while. One thing I wanted to ask you is, and it's something I rant about on this show a lot, I feel like a lot of people, they're okay with tax money being spent for the convention center, for Providence Place Mall, for things like this. But when we want to do something in Pawtucket, all of a sudden everybody gets cold feet about it. And what would you say to people who are listening, maybe that aren't, in the Pawtucket area in Rhode Island, that kind of get that hesitance about the new soccer stadium or doing something downtown with the tax dollars? What would you say to them?
I welcome it, and I think they should too. Listen, Coy Stadium started back with Ben Mondor. Nobody knew what it was going to be, and it turned out to be a great venue. It really did. I mean, that was the premier family place to go during the summer. I mean, through the whole state. So I think the soccer stadium has the same advantage. I think we can turn it into a destination. Plus the shopping that they're going to have, the restaurants that they're going to have. I mean, we can sit here in Pawtucket and we can say, no, we don't want it. But the bottom line is people are just going to go to Providence. Or they're going to go find somewhere else to go. Why not have them come here? I mean, it just makes perfect sense.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I mean, it's the fourth largest community in the state, a decent little tax base that, certainly contributes to the state coffers. So honestly, I'm glad to see some of the money, coming back and being spent in the municipality, which is a wonderful thing. Well, let me ask you this too. So last time you were in a three-way race in a primary, and again, there was you and there was another newcomer, and there was at the time a 30-year incumbent. How does the race change now that you're going to the general election with two, more or less newcomers? I mean, this is your second time running, but this is your opponent's first time.
This was a shock to us. It really was. This was not supposed to go this way. Statistically, I don't even know how it happened. But the reason that I ended up not going into the Democratic primary is I learned a lesson the last time that a three-way Democratic primary is just going to fuel the incumbent. So I ended up, and this is so bizarre, I ended up declaring my candidacy for the Ward 4 seat as an independent, simply so I wasn't in that three-way race. At the same time as doing that, I also declared my candidacy for the Ward 4 Democratic Committee. So technically right now, because there's only 7 seats and there's no opposition, I'm actually, in January, will be on the Democratic Ward Committee.
Nice.
And hopefully I'll be elected as the city council in District 4 too. So when this happened, when John lost, we were like, how did it happen? How does this person come out of nowhere, a complete unknown, and only been in the city 4 years total, turn around and beat him? And I think the only thing that happened is that John had been here so long and had just year after year after year. It would have been 32 years this time, I think. I don't think his core showed up. I think they were just apathetic, scared. They don't know.
As hell.
Yeah. So I mean, so now we're faced with of course, we're going to try to move on his voters,
Sure.
That would be the smart thing to do. But it's just it's been an incredible year, an incredible race, and I'm bewildered. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, when you tell me that people aren't aware that a 30-year incumbent lost, that just tells me, that there's just a lot of people that aren't invested in the process, and that's why you get these one-off results. Joe, as we're talking, I'm looking at the Department of Elections website. It looks like Barry's challenger actually beat him on the mail ballots. On the in-person voting, he held a slim edge, but she creamed him. So do you have a strategy? Are you leaving mail ballots for people? How are you handling that?
We are hammering the mail-in ballot process. In fact, that's one of the things we're doing with these door knockers, and we're tracking the people. If you send in for a mail-in ballot, we get your name on a list.
Okay.
And then we go visit.
Cool.
And I mean, it makes sense, right? They're the ones that are going to be voting early. So we got to get them now. We can't wait.
Absolutely.
Once that process starts, then we're going to be left, holding an empty bag if we don't work on it,
Yeah,
so that's what we're doing. We've just looking at some numbers that I just looked at tonight. In District 4, there are 6,200 voters here in this district. In the 2016 in the 2016 presidential election, 3,200 of them voted.
Okay.
Now, one of our advisors is telling us he believes the number is going to go to 4,000 this time, because you got to look at the fact that if you don't have to leave your house, it's a lot easier. You know what I mean? You're not going to forget to vote. It's not going to be an inconvenience. You have a couple of days. You have more than a couple of days, and you can fill out your ballot. You can do some research. And so we think that we're going to be looking at about 4,000 mail-in ballots, and we're tracking every one of them. We're going after every one of those votes if we can get it.
Nice. I mean, it sounds like that's going to be the strategy for sure, especially in these pandemic times. Joe, we're just about out of time. We got about a minute left. If you wanted to just reach out and chat to my listeners here about where they can find you and where they can get in touch with you and volunteer and help out your campaign, now's your time, my friend.
Best place to go is right to our website, which is joeflanagan.org. All the other information is on there. My phone number's on there. My email addresses are on there. Anything they need to contact us is there. And we'd be more than happy to talk to anyone that wants to volunteer. Go around, put some flyers out, do whatever we have to do to reach the people of District 4. And we've been diligent about it. We're going out and we're doing it.
Good. And
we're gonna keep doing it until November, and that's how it's gonna go.
All right, man. Well, listen, I'm wishing you a lot of luck. I think the city of Pawtucket would be better for having someone like you represent us. And we'll definitely talk again soon. Hopefully we'll have you on election night celebrating a victory.
Well, with all these mail ballots, we might not know on election night, but
true.
But certainly right after that. So, all right, Scott, it was great talking to you. It was good being on your show. Always enjoy it.
All right, you got it, my friend. Take care. All right, everybody. That was Joe Flanagan. We're gonna